Alright, greetings and salutations. My name is Comicfy, and welcome back for more Crystalis. In the last episode, we did a bit of Dale's Dead Bug. And in this episode, we're going to continue on with the plot, which is kind of a silly thing to say, given that every episode of... really every LP should be about continuing the plot. Of course, I say that, and it's like, I don't know, I've been watching H.C. Bailey's Final Fantasy II replay. And I don't know, it's like more episodes have been about, showing off, like, game mechanics than actually advancing the plot. But it's cool, because the whole point of the replay was to show off things that they just discovered, which is... I don't know. Kind of went off a wild tangent there. Anyway, we're not supposed to be here yet, but there is something I want to show off. Yep, this is the northern part of Mount Saber, and it's what I was telling you earlier. If you don't have a weird check complete, it just won't let you up there. And I think there might also be like a level gate too, but I think it's more just a weird, weird event trigger. But you see, I'm telling you, man, this one is really cool. It's like, boom. Getting them to charge up to... Charging up's a little, like, having to, like, sit totally still is a little bit of a bummer, but... I don't know, when you get that much power, you can afford to stop moving for a couple seconds. These little minotaurs mean nothing to us now. But I do have to be nice and strong, because I believe the next boss we have to encounter, you have to be a minimum of level 7 to even hurt. But we should be fine. I think I got there. Well, I think I must have been level 7 the first time I went through it, and I didn't do any, like, extra grinding. So, truthfully, it's gotta be easy. I mean, we have a whole dungeon to get through, so... How difficult could it possibly be to hit level 7? And worst comes to worst, we leave the room and go get level 7. See, it'll be cool. Oh, we don't even need to charge up for those little shroom guys. We can just poke. Hey, poke. Haha, you're nothing. Look at how much money we're getting from all this. Anyway, welcome to the southern part of Mount Saber. This is the next big area. Little snow zombies. That was a pretty fat EXP, wasn't it? I didn't see what I was beforehand, but I'm sure that it was much lower. What are you? Can't hurt those guys. Generally, if an enemy is pink, it can inflict poison on you, so watch out. This sounds familiar. Similar thing to the Wind Swords level 2 thing. We can melt ice walls. And hey, look! It's Zebu! I wonder what that could mean. You can speed it up a little bit. Now, these guys at this point aren't even worth attacking. Like, you don't get enough money, you don't get enough experience, just rip past this. But you do have to go back to Leaf here. This is that weird event trigger I was talking about. You might notice that nobody's here. Truly, nobody's here. You go into every single house and, no one. Wonder what all that's about. Except there is someone here. There, that's an event trigger. I still don't think we can go up to the northern part of Mount Saber yet. I think we actually have to still finish a bit of the plot. But even if you finish this next bit of plot and don't... Like, if you finish the next bit of plot and try to go out there, it's going to be like, no, you're not strong enough. When it's less of a matter of being strong and more of a matter of you didn't talk to a rabbit. I don't know how you're supposed to know that beyond just trying to explore everything, I suppose. I wonder if this is one of those cases. Yep, this is a similar case. Certain enemies are... great. Certain enemies are just great. I think I was trying to say earlier before I interrupted myself. If things are pink, they tend to be poisonous. mean, I don't want to be racist, but that's not what I meant to do. I'm not sure how long this poison is going to last either, so I kind of just want to hightail it back to Bryn Mawr and get me an antidote. Yeah, it's still hurting me. That could be bad. I think pretty soon we're going to get a spell that handles it for us, but till then, item shop? Where be ye? Let's hork this down as fast as we can. And I suppose we could drop a medical herb down our gullet now. I mean, we got the scratch, and it's not like we need it for anything else. God. I'm smart, I swear. And yet I keep doing it. That should be good. Maybe we should grab one more antidote herb. Just to be safe. I haven't enough money. Great. Cool and good. We just talked about how much money we were getting, and now it's all gone. Ain't that just the way the world works? But, like I was saying, certain enemies can only be hurt by certain swords, and sometimes it's multiple in a dungeon, like you're just gonna be swapping between swords on the reg. The GBC version alters it. I don't want to say fixes it, because I don't personally think it's that big of an issue. And the GBC version in general has a lot of other things I take issue with. I've been looking up more about it. About, what was that, 12 experience each? Been looking up more things about it, and let me tell you, it just completely, like, it botches the impact of the story. Cool, so these are little sliding, I feel like ice slides. You can jump up them though. So it's not like you're hard locked if you're going up or down one. You can jump your way back up. But they do have to be kind of short. Like if they're too long, you're not going to be able to get away with it. This is part of what I was talking about, like wandering around here for just like a couple minutes and you're going to be just fine to hit level 7. Especially if you don't know where to go. Because there's many a good treasure here, so we do want to grab as much of it as we can. I just don't want to take the ice slides all the way down, because if I keep running into Zimbos, then I'm going to run out of MP. At least that one's nice and easy. This might be one of the most useful attacks in the game, but I'm telling you, there's nothing more satisfying than just getting an enemy against the wall and just biggie. Even if you can't hurt an enemy, you can at least knock it out of your way. Which is nice. Looks like we can hurt them. I'm not sure off the top of my head if these guys can poison you, but I'm going to assume that a spider in a video game can poison you. It's usually a pretty safe call. Hey, free medical herb, nice. I think soon we're going to be encountering like mimic versions of them, where they'll just straight up attack you. Which is a great way to get money, because they drop $500 when that happens and you beat them. And they respawn. So money stops being an issue the second you can grind those. I don't know where I'm going off the top of my head, but, you know. I'm gonna use that as an excuse to get some money. And get some experience and levels. Because pretty sure... Oh, no. Alright, yeah, we gotta swap on over. My only issue with this system overall is that swords only get progressively stronger, so going back to the wind sword against strong enemies is kind of a pain. But I don't know, it's not so much of an issue that I think it's game-breaking. Look at that. Nice little level. So I looked up what each level did, and beyond just giving HP and MP, it also just adds +1 to like your attack power and defense power. All the way up until about I've been here before, haven't I? All the way up until I think your HP caps around level 14, and your MP caps at 15 or so. And then after that, you're just doing it for just a little bit more power. So once we hit that grinding spot I was talking about before, I'm probably just going to get it to like level 14, and then just naturally get the rest of my juice the way God intended. This feels like we're going the right way. Aha! We can't get there yet, but at least we know we're heading the right way. Speaking of the right way, let's get this right all the way into our mouth. I mean, we have MP for that use, but medical herbs... I don't know, medical herbs feel like they kind of cap out on usefulness really early, so we might as well use them while we have them. Or while they're still, like, actually useful. What is it? Smoke it if you got it. Don't really know what that means. I was playing Rock Band, or I was playing Clone Hero. I downloaded some Rock Band songs for it. They said it in the song Rob the President, so now I'm not sure if that actually means something, and I probably shouldn't have said it unedited during a stream. But I could also just Google it, but I'm also probably just going to leave it in. Take that, Zimbos. I've already forgotten which way we've come from. Okay. We took a right the first time. Meltdown! Yeah, wait for the screen to scroll a bit before you keep going, because you can take like a pot shot against something that can poison you. And now we have the magic ring. But to advance, we're gonna need more magic, so we're not done yet. I forget what the magic ring is. Is that a single use? So it was. But we don't need to worry about that, because it's not like we've been using any magic, so... The Tornado Bracelet is cool, because it's... As you might have guessed, it's actually an upgrade to the Sword of Wind. All weapons have 3 levels of skill, and the Tornado Bracelet will let us basically cap out the power of the Sword of Wind. It might seem a little early, but that's because it is. And I'll explain all that goes into that when it becomes pertinent. Which it hasn't yet, so I won't. I will say that even when you get the level 3 attack for the Sword of Wind, you're still probably better off using just the big fuck you fire wave. Oh. I see. You know, I actually have a map on my computer that I just haven't been looking at. I think I'm gonna do that real quick. And I believe that is our salvation. Because look, it's new. I gotta say, when you're seeing barriers you haven't seen before, it's a pretty good feeling, because you know, hey, I must be on the right path. I'm getting real close to dying here. Good thing we got all that MP. Who even needs a medical herb when you can dump the vast majority of your MP into healing yourself? And now we have the tornado bracelet. So check this out. Now we have a level 3. And pretty cool, right? However, the level 3 skills of all weapons require MP to use. Which can be a real drag. Because I don't even know. I don't think any of them are particularly useful. I think the one I use the most is probably the tornado bracelet, but even that's not saying much. So, you know, if you don't want to use it, don't. I don't think I've ever put myself into a position where I really missed not having it. Yeah, most of the time it'll do you just fine to just spam the level 2 shot of whatever you got. Or certain weapons, like a sword later on, even its level 1 shot is just so good that you don't even really need to bother charging up to level 2. I don't even know what its level 3 looks like. Well, I know, I think I used it like once, but you also don't get that sword for very long. It kind of comes towards the end of the game, which makes sense because it's kind of ridiculously OP. I went the wrong way. Though, I don't know, by the time you get it, it's just good. If you got that thing even like a minute earlier, it would probably be overpowered. But, you know. Okay, so that's the entrance. I'm smart, guys, I swear. Give that a little more juice. Yeah, I'd like to get up to like 600 EXP before I left this place. Wait, no, we were just there. I have to keep going. Actually, no, I think we have to go down. My bad. But that's also what we're doing, so look at that. More Zimbos for us to kill, to slaughter, to slog her. I think anyone's like unironically pronounced it slafter. Or did anyone pronounce laughter as laughter? I was gonna say, did you know anyone with the last name Slaughter when you were growing up? But it makes sense. Because this is like most last names, like, especially like really American ones like Smith. They were just like the professions. Like, Smiths were blacksmiths. You probably have like Fletchers and whatnot. Slaughter was probably like the town butcher. John Slaughterer. So like, it seems metal, but really it's... I don't know, butchery is kind of a metal profession, isn't it? Gotta have a stronger stomach than I have for that. I personally prefer to see my meat, I done did it again, haven't I? I personally prefer to see my meats before or after it's been prepared for me. Don't really have the stomach to do it myself. I don't know, it's like, I imagine it would smell bad. Like, beyond just seeing it, like, organs freak me out. Which makes sense, because those are supposed to remain on the inside, so seeing them on the outside is a little spooktastic. But the smell probably would also be, just foul. No thanks. Cool. Now we no longer need warp boots because we can just teleport out. Will do, Tornell. I did say I wanted 600, but we're basically right there, so let's show off this, this new spell we've got. Sure, let's go to Bryn Mawr. So we have 48, now we have 28. 20 in Bay. So I don't know, there's still probably a place for warp boots. Well, let's heal up because we really need it now. Cool. And with that, let's head on over to the northern part of Mount Saber, because that's where... I'm pretty sure that's where we're supposed to go next, but it's also really the only place left that is new to us. So why wouldn't we? I don't know, I kind of like that about, like, older RPGs, where they really didn't point you in a direction. It was just like, hey, haven't been here. You should probably go there. And it's neat. I'm not gonna say I have a disdain for the more modern, like, here's a marker telling you where you need to go. Because sometimes I just kind of like to turn off my brain and, you know, just advance a plot. But I don't know. With this aesthetic and everything, I could just sit here and play this, like... They could ask me to explore forever. Anyway, here's the northern part of Mount Saber. I've showed it off, so now that you know... Or now you know that getting teleport and talking to that rabbit will allow you to go through with it. Ah, fortunately, there's an inn. Huh. Wonder what all that's about. Nadar, huh? That'd be nice. Just being able to eat how much you want. Oh, hey, it's that guy who was talking about getting rich. Boy, you're living in your son's inn, just shit-talking him. What an asswipe. Fruit of power, warp boots. These medical herbs are pricey as hell. No thanks. 50. Nah. Although, well, we can always just come back to it. I was about to say, why would you even buy a medical herb? It'd be better just to teleport back and go to the inn. I'm telling you, man. Anyway, now seems like as good a time as any to call it an episode, so thank you so very much for watching. In the next episode, we're going to go through this side of Mount Saber. Oops, I've accidentally clicked off my NES emulator. We're going to be going through this side of Mount Saber, and it'll be great. So, see you all then!